go live. Go ahead.
I'm live. Well, only 3 minutes to go here. Oh, Mark, bring me my telephone. Mark?
Gotcha, Mom. Where is your telephone?
It should be on the bed there.
Here it is. I got it. Here you go.
Oh,
You still got a minute. Still got it?
Well, good evening and welcome to Wednesday evening prayer with the Franclara Abbey of Peace and Compassion, a branch of the Teo community of Interspiritual Franciscans, a community that welcomes all faiths and none. I'm Sister Nancy, and I'm so glad you chose to join us this evening. First of all, I'm going to take a moment to light this candle. And the candle light symbolizes life, the one, spirit. And I'm lighting it for our Teo community and for our abbot, Brother Sean, and for our assistant abbot, Sister Eleanor, and for all the members of the Teo community, and for all our friends and our benefactors, and for all of you who join us, and all of you who will watch later on video. Now, these next few weeks, I'll be sharing readings and prayers, like I have said before, from many different faiths and belief traditions, as well as a short quiet time for just going within ourselves into the silence. This evening, I have chosen some readings and prayers from the Muslim faith. But before we do those readings, we want to begin with the prologue of our sister and brother Essenes of Mount Sinai. We enter the eternal and infinite garden of Source with reverence to the heavenly Mother, Father God, the earthly Mother and all the great masters, and reverence to the holy, pure, and saving teachings, and reverence to the sisterhood and brotherhood of the elect. Our first reading is going to be from a man named Pir o Murshid Inayat Khan. And he was an accomplished musician as well as a spiritual master, initiated in the 4 major Sufi orders. And the Sufis are the mystical, contemplative, more branch of the Islamic religion. Now, the prophetic nature of his teachings, which were given over the course of 16 years in Europe and America from 1910 to 1926, reflected on the full scope of humanity's spiritual challenges and offered guidance accessible to people of all faiths. Known as the Sufi message, these teachings have been collected in 14 volumes and are a continual source of inspiration for the students of the Sufi way. Among Inayat Khan's most important teachings was his description of the unity of religious ideals, a recognition that has had far-reaching influence in the evolution of world culture since his time. As he often pointed out, Sufism takes away the boundaries which divide faiths by bringing into full light the underlying wisdom in which they are all united. Now, the first reading will be from Inayat Khan, and it is called An Introduction to the 7 Contemplations that he wrote. And the first one, contemplation, I'm going to read to you, and that's called The Gate. Imagine that you are facing a gate. On your side of the gate is the infinitely large and complex world of phenomena. The grasses in the prairie, the teeming cities, the clouds over the ocean, babies crying, wars being fought, suffering, lovemaking, your thoughts, everyone's thoughts, the stars sprinkled in the heavens, every single appearance everywhere, everything, every self. On the other side of the gate is non-dual reality, selflessness, enlightenment, the absolute, God. The gate is the gate of awakening. You try to walk up to the gate, to push it open, to step through it. But like in a dream, your effort to do so brings you no closer. You try harder. Movement seems to be happening, but the gate remains out of reach. You become more desperate, straining to reach out to the gate, but it stays just out of your grasp. Then you notice the flash of a bird flying by, and you turn to watch it. You see your spouse in the distance calling you for supper, your bike leaning against a tree. You get on your bike and go home, and after supper, you watch TV. Years go by. Sometimes you think about the gate and what might be on the other side, But like all thoughts, those thoughts don't last too long. Then one day in a shop, you see a little book squeezed between many volumes. Its title catches your eye, The Gate. You buy the book and back home, settle into your easy chair to see what it has to say. The more you read, you think, this is my gate, the one I tried so hard to open. Maybe this book will tell me how. You read on. Sometimes you think, that's it, that's how. And then you keep reading and are not so sure. After some time, you fall asleep. In your dream, you see the gate again. On your side of the gate is you and the whole universe of diverse things. On the other side is unity consciousness, Buddha mind, God's love, awakening, enlightenment. You have heard these words, and you know this is what the gate promises. So once again, you try to walk up to the gate and push it open. But just like before, all your effort brings you no closer. Your steps seem to be treading on air. You try harder, more desperately, yearning to reach the gate. But it is as if a terrible paralysis has taken over you. Then you wake up. There is no gate. Now, the next reading comes from the women Sufis. And this, the women of Sufism, a hidden treasure. And this is a story about a woman, a holy woman, called Lady Nafisa. And she was in the 9th century. And she was known as the jewel of knowledge and the mother of the helpless. She was the great-granddaughter of Hassan and son of Lady Fatima and Imam Ali. And she was born in Mecca in the year 760 of the current era. And she was brought up in Medina. And her life was the expression of good works and immersion in the worship of God. Now, this is a story of her. During this time of Lady Nafisa, there was an old poor woman, widow, she was, with 4 daughters, who made their living by weaving cloth and then selling it. One day, the old woman was on her way to the market with their weaving when a bird swooped down and snatched the sack in which she was carrying it. The woman was so distressed that she fainted. When she regained consciousness, she reflected, what shall I do? How will I provide for my family? And she began to weep. People gathered around her, and when they heard what had happened, they took her to Lady Nafisa. Nafisa listened to her story and then began to pray for her, saying, oh my God, you are exalted in ability, and you are the compelling sovereign. Relieve your servants from their sorrows. They are your creation and your dependents, and you have ability over all things. Then she said to the widow, stay here a while and know that God has power over all things. The old woman sat down, full of concern for her children's plight. After a while, a group of people came to the house asking for Lady Nafisa. When they entered her presence, they told her, an amazing thing happened to us. We were traveling by ship, and when we approached your coast, our vessel was damaged and water began filling our ship. We tried to plug the hole but could not, and we thought we would drown. Then suddenly a bird swooped down from the sky and dropped a sack on us. We found in it woven cloth, which we used to plug the hole, enough to be able to reach safety by God's will. When Nafisa heard this, she burst into tears and said, my God, my master, my friend, how merciful you are. how gentle you are with your servants." She then called the old widow nearer to her and asked her how much she would have expected to receive in exchange for her goods at the market. Oh, excuse me, before they said they were here to give 500 dinars as a gift of their gratitude for their safety. So then she called the old widow near to her and asked her how much she would have expected to receive in exchange for her goods at the market. And the woman told her she had hoped to earn 25 dirhams. Nafisa handed her the 500 dinars, a much greater amount. The woman took the money home to her daughters and related to them what had taken place. They all returned to Lady Nafisa and devoted their lives in her service. And the last reading I'm going to read is from a Sufi, Rumi, and he was a poet. And from this book, like this, which has 43 of his odes in it. And I think this one is a perfect one to take us in to the time of our silence. And this one is called "Love Has Taken Away My Practice." Love has taken away my practices and filled me with poetry. I tried to keep quietly repeating, "No strength but yours," but I couldn't. I had to clap and sing. I used to be respectable and chaste and stable, but who can stand in this strong wind and remember those things? A mountain keeps an echo deep inside itself. That's how I hold your voice. I am scrap wood thrown in your fire and quickly reduced to smoke. I saw you and became empty. This emptiness, more beautiful than existence, it obliterates existence. And yet when it comes, existence thrives and creates more existence. The sky is blue. The world is a blind man squatting on the road. But whoever sees your emptiness sees beyond blue and beyond the blind man. A great soul hides like Muhammad or Jesus, moving through a crowd in a city where no one knows him. To praise is to praise how one surrenders to the emptiness. To praise the sun is to praise your own eyes. Praise the ocean, what we say, a little ship. So the sea journey goes on, and who knows where. Just to be held by the ocean is the best luck we could have. It's a total waking up. Why should we grieve that we've been sleeping? It doesn't matter how long we've been unconscious. We're groggy, but let the guilt go. Feel the motions of tenderness around you, the buoyancy. Now I will set the timer. And we will go into the silence, sitting quietly with ourselves. And now it is time for prayers. And I have picked a few prayers here that I want to share with you from the Muslim faith. The first one is called Through the Silence of Nature. Through the silence of nature, I attain thy divine peace. O sublime nature, in thy stillness let my heart rest. Thou art patiently awaiting the moment to manifest through the silence of sublime nature. O nature sublime, speak to me through silence, for I am waiting in silence, like you, the call of God. O nature sublime, through thy silence I hear thy cry. My heart is tuned to the quietness that the stillness of nature inspires. And that's by Hazrat Inayat Khan. This is from the Quran, chapter 24, verse 35. God is the light of the heavens and the earth. The smile of God's light is like a niche in which is a lamp. The lamp is a globe of glass. The globe of glass is as if it were a shining star. It's from a blessed olive tree, neither of the east nor of the west. Its light nearly luminous, even if fire did not touch it. Light upon light. And the last one I'm going to share with you is a Sufi prayer for peace. Send thy peace, O Lord, which is perfect and everlasting, that our souls may radiate peace. Send thy peace, O Lord, that we may think, act, and speak harmoniously. Send thy peace, O Lord, that we may be contented and thankful for thy bountiful gifts. Send thy peace, O Lord, that amidst our worldly strife we may enjoy thy bliss. Send thy peace, O Lord, that we may endure all, tolerate all, in the thought of thy grace and mercy. Send thy peace, O Lord, that our lives may become a divine vision, and in thy light all darkness may vanish. Send thy peace, O Lord, our Father and Mother, that we, thy children on earth, may all unite in one family. Well, hi, Sister Linda. Good to see you. I'm glad you're with me this Indy. Thank you very much, sister. So now it's time for our prayers. I pray for all of those suffering in the world, especially in wars, especially refugees who have no homes, who have nothing and have to rely on the mercy of others. And I pray that our hearts will be softened and that we will see how each one of us can help them. And I pray for those suffering in the United States and on our borders. I pray for families that they be united and not united in prisons, but united and free. And I pray that we be given the insight in each of us to see what our part in this is and how we may hopefully be of some help to them. I pray for all those in the world who are suffering from climate change, from the droughts, from the heat, from the floods, from the tsunamis, the hurricanes, from the fires, from all that is going on all over the world. And that we be there for each other during these hard times. And that we be given the knowledge and see where our part is and what we can do for each other. Do you have any prayers that you would like, Sister Linda? Then I will close with some metta prayers. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be safe and secure in their inner and outer being from all harm and danger. May all beings be peaceful and happy. And may all beings dwell in the deep ease of well-being. And now I'll blow out this candle and hope that this time together, this time of prayer and being together in unity, connectedness instead of separateness, benefits all beings everywhere. And I pray that all that you, Sister Linda, and that all that watch me later have peace in their hearts. Namaste.
In stream.
I can't find it.
Click it.
I can't find it.
Just click it. First click. That'll release it. Now move. You'll find it.
There it is.
There. In stream. In. Done. The one at the very bottom.
Namaste.
She's